What's up, YouTube? It's Team Master bringing you guys a Madden 19 defensive tip on how you guys can stop, PATS, sell, and bring heat out of it. So we're actually going to be working in nickel normal. Now, it's going to be hard to generate this in practice mode, but there's a couple different ways people are going to do it. So first off, we're going to get a nickel blitz too. The two ways that people are going to do it is that C route, instead they're going to turn it into a post or a crossing route, and they're going to max protect. They're going to do something like this. Leave that little baby wheel route or streak, whatever you want to call it there, and then they would just imagine this slant is a post or a wheel, or sorry, a crossing route. Something similar to that. That's how they're going to run it. So here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to set the blitz up. And next, what we're going to do is, now you guys are going to be like, well, that gives up the checkdowns. That's kind of the idea, because most times when people are running PATS sell, they're looking for big plays. So instead, we're going to take away those big plays. We're going to put X on an outside quarter. We're going to put B on an outside quarter. We're going to cross man A to X, and then we're going to put LB in a middle third. Now, that is a lot of stuff I just said. So we're going to restart and break it down, but that's the setup, what you guys want to do. So we'll hop back in PATS sell. All right, now you guys notice that ran stock, it's actually pretty solid plays. Sometimes what they might do with this little wheel route as well is they'll put them on a little flat like that. They generally will leave him though, but you don't really need to be too concerned about that. I'm willing to give up that little check down, but eventually I'm going to take it away. So this is how they're going to run it. They're going to max protect, and just imagine, use your imagination just for a little bit. They're going to put Terrell Owens on a cross route or a post route. One of the two. It's always going to be one of the two options generally. Sometimes they'll leave him in this little C route, but how we're going to bag the crossing routes, we're going to go ahead. Imagine this is a post route. Just imagine it's going to get open because it's a slant. So just imagine this. We're going to double tap Y. Now, double tap Y brings up all our secondary. X and B need to be an outside quarter. So we're going to X right on the right stick, double tap Y, B right on the right stick again. And that's going to put them in outside quarters. Now we have Randy Moss that we have to deal with on the crossing route. The post route comes from left to right. Anytime they're running PATS sell, and there's always wherever the lone receiver is, he's always going to come on a post route. Every single time if they run PATS sell or BUCS sell, you can be guaranteed he's running a post route every single time, no question. So we're going to take that away. We're going to go ahead, double tap Y again. We're going to put LB in a middle third, double tap Y, A up on the right stick, X, and that's going to cross man him. Now, what I would do here instead is I'd actually move these safeties out, and I'd put corners in there, like Deion Sanders, for example. I'd put corners in that position instead, just because they have better man coverage than a safety does. Now, again, you're going to have to imagine here a little bit that slant is a post route, and we're just going to be watching the middle of the field as the user. So let's just hop off Deion Sanders. We're going to try bag in the middle of the field. And usually what I do, I put myself on a little man right here. We'll like hover right here to get a little bit more blitz pressure. They like to max protect against nickel blitz too. Snap the ball. We're going to watch the middle of the field, watch the middle of the field. And now if that post route was there, it's going to be 100% bag. So again, you guys have to use a little bit of your imagination right there, as this is practice mode. This is not MUT. I cannot guarantee you that I could even replicate this in a MUT game. Now, there's another setup that they will do as well. Most times if they're running PATS sell, they're going to do a max protect, and then they will, oops, I got the wrong one. They're going to max protect, and then they'll drag B instead, and sometimes motion them out. So this is kind of what it looks like. Now, this is a very basic way to motion snap them like that. But the idea is we want to send pressure to force them to make a quick read. So if you can force your opponent into making a quick read, more often than not, they're going to throw a pick. Now, earlier I talked about how they might occasionally actually leave it as is. They'll just block their running back instead. Something like this. So we're going to set the blitz up again. And something to that effect. And then crash outside. They'll leave their tight end on a flat route. Now, let's say we're going to set it up like we normally do. Bam, bam, bam. Something to that effect. You now have the wheel route, or sorry, the flat route. And again, let's just imagine this is a post route. It'd be a Y, B, and left trigger, but this is going to turn them into flat. So it's going to be something like this. Just imagine post route. So you guys are then going to say, well, then now he's got the flat. He's got the check down. Yes, he does. I can tell you right now, he's got the check down wide open. So it's all about making adjustments to what your opponents are doing, keeping your coverage off guard. This is a very, very good way to bag crossing routes, either direction. Your assignment in this crossing route, say this slant route was a deep crossing route and they had the streak or whatever it may be. We go ahead, snap the ball. Let's just say they leave that. That is now your assignment, and you have to stay with him. Now, again, you notice the flat route and tight end is wide open. There's a lot of different things you guys can do with this. I don't want you to think you're extremely limited. For example, if you're worried about them taking that little flat route every single time, here's my best advice to that. You let them have it, but when they need it, you take it away. For example, if they were constantly keeping Moss on that crossing route, Terrell Owens on that crossing route, let's say they are down all the way here, or let's just make it a little more realistic, like 15-yard line, somewhere around there, you know, a little closer to the goal line. All right, you've given up that check down again and again and again, 5 yards again and again and again. So we're going to go ahead and take it away this time. So this is just something that I want to explain to you guys real fast. It's about giving and taking. So, for example, we're going to set this up like we normally would. Now, here's what we're going to do different. We're going to put A into a hook curl or curl flat. We're going to shade underneath. Now, what you can do here is you can move him down, and you've now taken away that little check down. So let's just assume he's going to do like a max protect and put Terrell Owens or Jerry Rice on a flat route, something like this. I don't know what your opponent's going to run every single time. Now, you've now taken away that little flat route, and you no longer have to worry about it. So let's go ahead and get off the defensive line. Let's assume this slant route is a crossing route, and you've now bagged his play completely. There is nobody open. The key to stopping PATS sell is giving up what you're willing to give up. For me, personally, I'm willing to give up a 5-yard flat route because eventually they're going to need it, and it's going to be completely taken away with a simple adjustment as putting your your free safety or your strong safety, pretty sure it's strong, I always get those two mixed up, into a curl flat and then shade underneath to change them into a hard flat. Again, there's a lot of different options that a player can do out of this, but the biggest tip, that I cannot emphasize this enough, is taking away what they want when they need it. Such as that flat route, such as that post route. Take it away. There's a lot of different things you can do here. I'll even show you guys another setup that I might do against PATS, so depending on what they're doing. I'm going to put both corners into outside flats again, but here's what I'm going to do different. I'm going to man up A to B, LB to A, double tap Y, LB up on the right stick, B, double tap Y, A, up on the right stick, X, and maybe do something like this, and probably only said 5 this time. So then I'd put this guy in the middle third, still set the blitz up like I normally would, and just sit in 5. Now, you have to be careful about pressing, especially against a person such as Randy Moss. Randy Moss can, if you press and they decide to do a fade or a streak instead, he's going to break your man coverage, especially if your corners do not have good press. Something very important about this particular thing is we're going to go into it real fast. Making your corners into safeties, the risks that you take with that as well. So let's just get into nickel normal. I made a video about this already, but I'm going to briefly cover again. Deion Sanders, I want to put him up in this free safety position instead. So you're going to sub him out of the corner. You're going to put, then you can put whoever you want. You can put Ed Reed down to the flats. You can put whoever you want to right there. Then we're going to move and put another, let's just say Champ Bailey. Now again, if your corners are constantly getting burned by the post route, perhaps you need to switch in the corners. I've noticed in the weekend league games I've been playing is that by me switching around corner, for example, Champ Bailey, moving him to free safety instead of strong safety, and putting, I cannot remember his name right now, whoever the Patriots is, in a strong safety instead, he was able to keep up with Randy Moss a lot better. So keep that in mind. If your corner's constantly getting burned, you maybe need to change where they are in the field. So let's just go nickel blitz 2 again. Now right here, I forgot one thing. I talked about if you were to have, let's just say, a strong safety like Brian Dawkins and Ed Reed, people that don't have good press at all, and you decide for some dumb reason to press them. I don't know why you would do that. Don't do that. But you decide to press Randy Moss with the safety. Randy Moss is then going to have a huge advantage against that safety because the safety is not meant to play man coverage. And in turn, you guys are probably going to give up a touchdown if I'm being completely honest. So, with putting your safeties into the flats, please save yourself the headache. Don't press. You can always manually move your slot cornerback down if you need to. So, that's just a tip right there. So, we'll get into nickel blitz. Get back into PATS sale. Very, very popular play. It's a pretty old play, to be honest. So, we're going to just assume he doesn't max protect, set the blitz up. So here we're going to put these guys back into outside quarters. What I like about having safeties and flats and having them in zones is they can play zone pretty darn good. And then corners can play man defense superb. So we're going to go and cross man. And then if you're really feeling like he's going to take the middle of the field, or like a deep middle, then you can put your linebacker in a middle third. And if you're really, really worried, if you're super paranoid like myself in Madden 19, you can always move him back. Now, Derek Brooks is a fantastic pass coverage linebacker. If you guys have him in MUT, throw him in there. If you have somebody like Deion Jones, Ryan Shazier, throw him in there. Again, Regs, it's going to be a completely different ball game than MUT. So just keep that in mind. But this is very simply what I would do, perhaps, in this instance. Now, if I want to send 4, then I could do another adjustment. Let's just say he decides to not max protect, and he's just going to, imagining we're going to put Terrell Owens on a slant. So, like, okay, he's just going to take the flat route every single time. So instead, what I'm going to do, I might just rush 4. So I'm going to put double tap LB, B, left on the D-pad or left on the left stick, and that's going to put him in the flats. Now, one thing I would recommend, please have if you can have a linebacker in at that position, do so. Or if you can't, have a defensive end that is fast, such as J.J. Watt. You can always sub in Clomac as well. So this is just something very simple that I would do against a PATS cell, or a very basic PATS cell. You can see there's a lot of manning up going on. Cross man, we got flats, we got outside quarters, we got a middle third with a linebacker. Whole bunch of options, guys. So if you guys are going against somebody that's running PATS cell, open your eyes, look at the whole field, see what they're doing, read what they're doing, and make your proper adjustments. The biggest mistake I think a lot of people make is, for example, and I still make this personally, they over adjust. Now, what do I mean by over adjust in PATS cell? So let's just say they're going to come out in PATS cell, like always, nickel normal. Some people, what they're going to do, if they automatically come bunch, they're assuming go PATS cell, verticals, there's lots of different plays. So then they start adjusting, and this is like the very first play of the game. If you give up a touchdown, you give up a touchdown. But whatever you do, don't over adjust. Sometimes you run into players that just simply aren't good at the game, and you can literally run a play stock. If you can get away with that by just like maybe just shading underneath, shading over top, changing your flats, then do that. There's no need to adjust your entire defense if it's working stock. So as far as PATS cell, there's so much with PATS cell. If they run it stock, this is the last thing. If they run it stock, your primary concern is that C route and the post route. You have to be really careful, especially in the cloud flats. Sometimes cloud flats won't play that properly. I don't fully understand why, but we're gonna shade up, get those cloud flats, get rid of that soft squat. You're like, okay, what about the flat route? The flat route, I'm not too concerned about. You can take that away with put them into a hard flat. There we go. Something like that. And then what you need to worry about primarily is Jerry Rice going up the seam. Again, this is a very simple thing I could do. I could double tap A, up on the right stick, RB, and just man him up. Very, very simplistic things to do. And then you could always put this guy into a soft squat again. So he's playing man coverage. You can man up a safety or corner to Randy Moss to get a better double team coverage. Make sure he really doesn't have an option to that. Lots of different things to do. Lots of things to be aware of when somebody's running BUCS cell out of the Buccaneers, obviously, or PATS cell out of the Patriots. Gun bunch is very deadly because then they can work in a verticals play. They can work in a bunch of different crossing routes with post routes, with MUT, with the special chemistries. Regs, guys, you guys got it a little bit easier. You don't have to worry as much about these crossing routes, these post routes, these corner routes that they can hot route with special chems. You guys have it, I think, significantly easier than MUT players do. But anyways, this is a very basic intro to a way that I would personally attack PATS cell. Usually if somebody's in gun bunch, they're going to do two things. They're going to do some sort of max protect pass, and generally looking for a post route or a crossing route somewhere on the field. 9 times out of 10, that's what bunch is a post or a crossing route somewhere. Look for it, find it, cross man, lock it up. I think that pretty much takes care of everything I wanted to cover in PATS cell. If you guys have any questions, I know this is a little bit longer of a video, and I didn't even really cover everything that I could. Again, send heat, Nickel Blitz 2. You guys can go check out a Max Protect buster that I have at It Beats Max Protect. I'll leave that down below in the description. out of Nickel Blitz 2. Again, learn your quick adjustments. I can make a video on that. I probably will, actually, as far as who goes where, what you can do with what, etc., etc. So hopefully you guys got something out of this video. Again, one final announcement for those guys that stayed to the end of the video. RSVP, Maestro_Madden@outlook.com. It is going to be the first weekend in March where I will be live streaming on MaestroMadden.com. This is normally an exclusive thing to members only, where I'll answer it'll be a Q&A about Madden 19, such if you guys are struggling with a money play, blitzes, just running, or anything in general, maybe even something as basic as reading a coverage. Feel free to ask. The only thing that I want you guys to be able to do is RSVP. Just email me just saying, hey, I'll be there. You don't have to tell me your name. I don't really care. You don't have to tell me your name. And then if you have any questions, please link those into the email or type those into the email as well. It'll help me be better prepared to answer them. So yes, today is January 8th. You guys can plan on it being March 2nd. March 2nd is going to be the live stream on MaestroMadden.com, normally exclusive to paid memberships only. Give you a little bit of a tour of the website as well. So, until next time, boys, get in the lab. This has been T Meister. See ya.